Richard of Carver here on my 174th day of sobriety. After I spent an entire 20 years high, so high, ticking away the moments and make up a dull day. Fritter and waste the hours in an offhand way, kicking around on a piece of ground in your hometown, waiting for someone or something to show you the way. Tired of lying in the sunshine, staying home to watch the rain. You are young and life is long, and there's some time to kill today. Then one day you find 10 years have got behind you. No one told you when to run. You missed the starting gun. And then you run and you run to catch up with the sun, but it's sinking, racing around to come up behind you again. A page of scribbled lines, hanging on in quiet desperation is the English way. The time is gone, the song is over. Thought I'd something more to say. Home, home again. I like to be here when I can. When I come home good and tired, it's good to warm my bones beside the fire. Far away across the field, tolling on the iron bell, calls the faithful to their knees to hear the softly spoken magic spell. What's up, everybody? Richard of Carver here on day 174 of sobriety. What's good, y'all? Just a little Time by Pink Floyd. One of the best bands that ever did band. Love them so much. What are you guys up to tonight? It is 12:50 a.m. East Coast time. We're going to play a little Pink Floyd tonight. Going to chill a little bit. Catch up. Today, I had a marvelous sleep. I went so deep into Dream World. Someone stole my car in Dream World. And that sucked. That wasn't a really fun thing to deal with. It was one of those things that when I woke up and realized I didn't have to deal with that anymore, I was pretty happy about it. But I'll tell you, the whole part around it was pretty amazing. There was a sloth type creature that could walk. I remember that in there, and that was pretty wild. I think that came from me seeing a bear on its hind legs recently. But yeah, I was like in some like 7-Eleven type place, and some people were distracting me, my friends. I think my buddy Aaron was there, and while they were distracting us, we went out. My car was gone. I had to wait there for a while. Somehow I grabbed a bus, and then that bus, I think, somehow might have flipped over, or something was up with the bus not going because we were stuck behind this sloth attacking another sloth. There was basically like two people who looked like sloths. So, yeah, we had to wait for like the cops to come to report my car stolen. It was just so nice to wake up and know that, that was in Dream World and not in this one. Maybe it was in some world, though. Who knows what dreams are? Are we just a dream? You really can't tell. Really can't tell anything. That whole, like, living inside of a black hole universe thing really messes with my mind in a way of thinking how unimaginably small we are in the grand scheme of things, and how large space objects can be, and how ants are so much smaller than us. It's just wild, all the different types of life and consciousness that can be out there. You ever feel consciousness from an animal or some type of thing that's around you, and you feel like they're just more than just that's a thing? It's like there's a thinking thing there. I swear consciousness is something that you can pick up on. And I think ants have that. When I see a bunch of ants, it feels like there's like a conscious swarm. It's like a brain right there. So I'm imagining consciousness as some type of vibe. And then it's just like, could everything be conscious? Maybe not inanimate object. Maybe those can't be conscious, but if you're some type of organic material, you probably could be. And yeah, just the act of dreaming is wild. I guess it's just a way that our brain cleans and categorizes some of the time, but is it sometimes more? I have a hard time fully jumping into dream interpretations, though, because I think that a lot of that is just people feeling different things and just applying their own feelings to like interpretations, and like even like language is just something that we've formed our brains around to emote thoughts that we have going on in there, like ways to communicate those interests and ideas. That's why there are different languages in the world. It's just a different way that we all can like get across those thoughts. So, like, if we're in dream world, how can anything really mean anything? It's just like language is so it's like a way to really direct our brain into categories and express them. And so in dream world, why is it always being in English and stuff? At least for us, you'd imagine that there would be either no language or some languages we don't understand, or maybe a lot like those nowadays you see on Instagram, all those light languages where they're like, which, to be honest with you, that's how I would write a lot of songs in my past. If you can't really come up with an actual lyric right on the spot, having something that kind of sounds the way you want the word to sound, and just going like si ba ba dee li biao, just shaping a word is kind of like a good placeholder. And then you find a word that kind of sounds like that. I don't know what word would sound like that, but like something is like e, and you can like ski. Okay, well there's a word there, But anyway, had a great dream. That's what all that was about. And from there, really took it easy for the day for a while. I woke up with a text on my phone that was really interesting. For those longtime viewers out there, you'll know that I've had different thoughts and feelings about the paintball park that's behind me. Recently, putting in more bunkers and more building directly behind my house, where I had gone to bat for them years ago to allow a special exemption to happen where they could still operate. I'm their closest neighbor, but the agreement was that they would only make natural bunkers behind my house and dig trenches so I wouldn't really see stuff going on. It would also be quieter. And this past year, they've been putting in all kinds of big things that are super loud, and it sounds like there's like practically like cooking pans being shot and hit, and big water, not towers, but like water, I don't know, giant water jugs, like just gigantic, like the ones that are like thousands and thousands of gallons, these huge ones. I don't know what I'm trying to say there. I'm sure there's another word for those. But, yeah, but they're empty, so you hit them, there's just like a big thunk sound and very, very loud. Either way, you all know that I went away to Virginia this past weekend to play with It's All Good, and did the bass gig with them, which was awesome. Apparently while I was away, they were getting a little rowdy out there, and one of my other neighbors actually called the county on them. And so I woke up with a text from them asking what they could do to fix the situation if I had called the county on them. So I ended up calling the owner and letting them know it wasn't me, but, I'm always here for you guys' continued success. But hey, now I got you on the phone, let's talk about those gunshots you guys are doing by my house all the time and those bunkers and stuff. And he was like a little bit busy, wasn't really connecting in the terms of like that they would do anything about it. But I'm glad that he heard those thoughts, and maybe there's some seeds there. And it was a good conversation, good to reconnect with your neighbor. So glad that took off. Talked with Kate a little bit today. Talked with Pat, my mom, my dad, Jake, whole bunch of different people. Caught up for a while, and that was good. Talked to George for a while yesterday too, and that was nice. I'll be seeing George tomorrow. Got my radio station gig tomorrow for the first time in a little while. That's going to be interesting because my radio station that I work at is 2 different venues as well. There's like the overall company, and then that company has 2 venues. The people in one of the venues are striking. So I don't know what that means for me going ahead. No one let me know anything. I don't believe it really pertains to me, but of course I support people being heard and having their voice heard. So I want to find out more about that. But I work for the overall company, and we're doing filming for the other one, so it's not messing with them. There's no like crossing lines, but while I'm up there, I'm going to try and learn as much as I can about what exactly is going on. So that'll be very interesting, and of course I hope for the best for them, and I'll let you guys know how that goes. And yeah, last night we had a live band karaoke. It went really late. I didn't do this until 4 a.m., just about last night. And now I'm just going to chill, play a little bit of music. I got some questions lined up for a little bit later as well. But for now, how about another Pink Floyd song? Because that's what I am thinking. Let's see. On the grass, the lunatic is on the grass, remembering games and daisy chains and laughs. Got to keep the loonies on the path. The lunatic the hall, lunatics are in my hall. The paper holds their folded faces forebodings too. I'll see you on the dark side of the moon. Is in my head. The lunatic is in my head. You raise the blade, you make the change, you rearrange me till I'm sane. Lock the door, throw away the key. There's someone in my head, but it's not me. And if the cloud bursts and thunder in your ear, you shout and no one seems to hear. And the band you're in starts playing different tunes, I'll see you on the dark side of the moon. What's up, K? K's got some hearts in the chat. It says, backward hats. Your backwards hat be doing something to me. You like the little backwards hat? You like it? It's my hilarious one that says, born to hunt, forced to work. I stole it from my dad when I was a little kid, and I've had this hat since the 90s. This was always like a really funny hat to me. Let's say. Is it in the shot? Might be. Yeah. So yeah, a little pinkish of the Floyds tonight. I am going to probably play one or two more Pink Floyd songs because I'm in a Pink Floyd mood. So that was Brain Damage, and I feel like I can relate to that song because I feel like I have brain damage. I don't know how long I've had brain damage for. Probably since I started doing all the drugs. But I'm hoping that my brain is healing. That's my goal. I have thought about, like, maybe I should eat meat to help repair my brain or something, because it's been almost a decade since I've had any type of, like, red meat. And sometimes I wonder if that would really, like, skyrocket my healing. We're going to do a little bit of Hey You. Hey you, out there in the cold, getting lonely, getting old, can you feel me? Hey you, standing in the aisles with itchy feet and fading smiles, can you feel me? Hey you, don't help them to bury the lie. Don't give in without a fight. Hey you, out there on your own, sitting naked by the phone, would you touch me? Hey you, with your ear against the wall, waiting for someone to call out, would you touch me? Hey you, Would you help me to carry the stone? Open your heart, I'm coming home. There it is. But it was only a fantasy. The wall was too high, as you can see. No matter how he tried, he could not break free. And the worms ate into his brain. What a fun band. Hey, you. Out there in the cold, getting lonely, getting old. Can you feel me? Just beautiful, interesting melodies. What a wild band. Pinkish of the Floyds. So yeah, that was Hey You. Is that one off of The Wall, I'm guessing? I think that is off The Wall. The Wall is, interestingly enough, like maybe my least listened to Pink Floyd album when I really think about it. I'm one of those that have not really connected with The Wall that much. Maybe because it's more of a Roger Waters outing. It's kind of like a Roger Waters solo album, to be honest with you guys, you know? And, you know, he's fine. He's good. He's got his moments for sure, but I'm a very big David Gilmour fan, for certain. I love all of David Gilmour's like solo stuff. I love what Pink Floyd became once Roger left. I loved all of their albums after that. I mean, the first two Pink Floyd albums, they were pretty much a different band. They had Sid Barrett in there. And then once David came in, they just changed their sound so much. I just loved it all. He's one of my favorite guitarists and singers, too. I think he's like an underrated rock singer. And The Wall was a big time Roger Waters vocal and written album, you know. I think at one point he even fired their keyboardist, Rick, Richard, shoot. I don't know why I'm forgetting the name of the keyboardist for Pink Floyd right now. I keep wanting to say Rick Wakeman, but that is Yes's keyboardist, right? Who is Pink Floyd's keyboardist? Richard Wright. I will try and remember that. You guys ever seen them play in Pompeii? I remember being transfixed seeing that in a store when I was in Boston with my buddy Tom. And it was wild. It was one of my first times seeing that. And, man, what an incredible band. All right. I'll stop blabbering about how much I love the Pinkish of the Floyds. Let's find another one. I haven't done these in a little while. I didn't play them before I jumped on, but I got these off of ones I had done on prior live streams because I was trying to get a little organized with those so I could start doing brand new songs, and I wanted to have a list of all the ones I had done. Changing every day in every possible way, and oh, my dreams are never quite as it seems, never quite as it seems. I felt like this before, but now I feel it more because it came from you. Then I open up and see the person falling here is me. A different way to be, way to be. impossible to ignore. They'll come true, impossible not to do, impossible not to do. Now I tell you openly, you have my heart, so don't hurt me. You're what I couldn't find, a totally amazing mind, so understanding and so kind. You're everything to me. Oh, my life is changing every day in every possible way. Though my dreams are never quite as it seems, 'cause you're a dream to me, dream to me, dream to me, dream to me. Oh, my life is changing every day in every possible way. Though my dreams are never quite as it seems, 'cause you're a dream to me, dream to me, dream to me. A little cranny berry. There's a little nook and cranny. Cranberries are a really cool band. What great hits they have. And I recently saw that Zombie song was really amazing when the guy was watching the bombs come down over top of Israel. He played that. People will try Zombie. I don't know if I've played that one before. Hey, shush, Mike. Zombie. That mic was making some noise. Alright. Another head hangs lowly, child is slowly taken, and the violence caused such silence. Who are we mistaken? But you see, it's not me, it's not my family. In your head, they are fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns. In your head, they are crying. In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. Hey, hey, what's in your head? In your head, zombie, zombie. Hey. I'm moving this up. There's no way I can sing that through there. Let's try it here. We'll work it with this camera for a little bit. I got Ogatoed. It's true. Mr. Robatoed. Oh, you can have it there. Alright. Maybe we'll try it here. Seems a little bit high too. Let me see. We'll do it that way. All right. Another head hangs slowly, child is slowly taken, and the violence caused such silence. Who are we mistaken? Instantly, it's not me, it's not my family. In your head, they are fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns. In your head, they are crying. In your head, that's even higher. We're not doing it there. Darn. All right, we'll try it one last placement, and then I'm done with this song. This is what you get for when you're just trying. Another head hangs slowly, child is slowly taken, and the violence caused such silence. Who are we mistaken? But you see, it's not me, it's not my family. In your head, they are fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and the guns. In your head, they are crying. In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. What's in your head? Your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. Hey, 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 oh, another mother's breaking heart is taking over. When the violence causes silence, we must be mistaken. It's the same old theme since 1916. In your head, they're still fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns. In your head, they are dying. In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. Hey, hey, what's in your head? In your head, zombie. Hey, hey, zombie. Hey, 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 oh. What's in your head? What's in your head? Zombie, zombie. What's in your head? What's in your head? Zombie. Another head hangs slowly. Child is slowly taken. And the violence caused by such silence. Who are we mistaken in your head? But you see, it's not me, it's not my family. In your head, they are fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns. In your head, they are crying. In your head, zombie, zombie, zombie. Oh, 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 oh. The zombie gets to sing. All right, that was our weird attempt at a zombie. I'm happy that we did it. I think. And maybe we'll do one more for the evening. Let's see, what else are we going to do? What's in your head, zombie? Not these ones. Already did these Pink Floyd ones. I've got a bunch of tabs open. Zombie. Yeah, we'll take it down a notch. I won't sing like a zombie on this one either. Wish I tried this one beforehand, but we're gonna go with it. I really love this artist named Daniel Johnston. I'm not sure if you guys know Daniel Johnston or not, but give him a go. Great documentary on him to get your feet wet with him, but beautiful, beautiful soul. Trying to remember, but my feelings can't know for sure. Try to reach out, but it's gone. Lucky stars in your eyes. I am walking the cow. I really don't know how I came here. I really don't know keeps blowing me around in circles, in circles. Lucky stars in your eyes. I am walking the cow. I really don't know what I have to fear. I really don't know why I have to care. Oh, I am walking the cow. I am walking the cow. Trying to remember, but my feelings can't know for sure. I try to reach out, but it's gone. Lucky stars in your eyes, they're gone. Lucky stars in your eyes, gone. I am walking the cow. I am walking the cow. Insurancer Bob is in the chat. What is up, bro? Insurancer Bob says, hello, brother. How you doing tonight, man? Great to see you out there. Hopefully you enjoyed some of that Daniel Johnston walking his cow. Something about that song I just feel is so beautiful. Maybe we'll do another Daniel Johnston song because he's just the best. I really love him. We'll do True Love Will Find You in the End. True love will find you in the end. You'll find out just who was your friend. Don't be sad, I know you will. But don't give up until true love will find you in the end. This is a promise with a catch, 'cause only if you're looking can it find you. 'Cause true love is searching too. But how can it recognize you unless you step out into the light of the light? Don't be sad, I know you will. But don't give up until true love will find you in the end. as your friend. Don't be sad, I know you will, but don't give up until true love will find you in the end. Don't be sad, I know you will, but don't give up until true love will find you in the end. Pretty little Daniel Johnston tune, you know? This is a promise with a catch, 'cause only if you're looking will it find you. Alright. Maybe that'll be a good one to end it on with the songs, you know? Zach's in the chat. What's up, Zach? Zach says good song. Zach, I got to listen to the Sabbath tune today. I was actually thinking, I was like, I can't get on stream without listening to that song beforehand. So thank you for that recommendation. It was definitely great. Are you what's your favorite Black Sabbath album, Zach, or anybody out there? Me personally, their first two albums, I think it's hard to get past because they're just so amazing. Like, as my favorites, First four are some of my favorite runs of a band, Yeah, man, I loved it. But totally, I literally had a dream. I was like, I told Zach I was going to check that out. I cannot. Number 2 for what's up, Jim Fargo in the chat? What's up, Jimmy? Got number 2 on there as well. It's just like for a band to come out like that and to have influenced, they're kind of one of the biggest influencers of all time too. There are bands these days that sound still exactly like Black Sabbath, and to me that's like good. I'm like, how much can you sound like them? Because if you sound like them, you sound better. I have a really weird, vivid memory of being a, young kid, young teen, maybe 12, 13 area, and having like a PlayStation, and there was like some G.I. Joe PlayStation game, and I remember learning Paranoid in between like deaths of the game. And I would, like, as I was like regenerating or something, I was learning Paranoid. Oh, look. And then check chat, and you said kind of boring but Paranoid. Not at all. Not at all. And all right. Yeah. It's a great one. They're just the best. Tony Iommi and Ozzy and, was it Butler? Was that the other guy? But those will probably be the last tunes that I'm going to play for the evening. I just played a whole bunch of different, some Floyd tunes and some Daniel Johnston tunes. But now, it is 1:45 in the morning. I have really close to perfect pitch, Zach. It's like, I can always like be like,
E B G D A E, but it's like more because it's like memorized from so many times of tuning a guitar. So those notes I have down, and when I hear songs and stuff, I usually can pick out an E really well. But I've been around people who have like true perfect pitch, and I don't know if it's the same. I have a really, I'm thankful for my ear, and I can tell what's up in my brain. I can translate brain and hearing things really well onto my guitar. But some people that have perfect pitch, like you can kind of tell they're wild, you know. Do you have perfect pitch? Are you one of them wild childs? Cheers, everybody. This does not look like a wonderful drink to show on stream. It's mango flavored water, I promise. All right, so for our cool down for the evening, guys, I got a couple good questions for us. Zach does not. Yeah, it's wild. Have you ever been around somebody who's like kind of showing off their amazing perfect pitch? It's very humbling. But when I went to music school, music college, and I mean, one of my ear training classes, the part of the end tests and finals would be the teacher playing a whole bunch of different chords, and you would have to just like notate what you would hear. So you would have to have like some core sounds at least memorized, you know, to try and get your pitch as close to perfect as you can, like learned perfect pitch, that type of thing. I think there's actually a phrase for it. I kind of forget what it is, but get out of here. All right, so we jumping into a couple questions. You guys. My share is very loud sometimes. So, got a good question for everybody. Would you rather know when you die or how you die? Like, know the exact date of when you die, time and everything. Or would you rather know how you die and then just not know when? Huh. I feel like probably know when I would die, because if I only knew how I died, I would probably be scared of doing that thing each time. Like, what if you die? Like let's just say, I don't know, walking. Like, would you be scared of walking every single time? You could like only crawl. Like you'd develop a phobia of walking, maybe. You know, or like drinking water. Maybe you die drinking urine looking water. That is a really rough color, you guys. And what's wild is I follow some really insane people on Instagram who do drink their own stuff. I don't know if I follow them so much as it just come up in my shorts, because I watch reels or whatever. My algorithm is dialed in. It is a crazy algorithm. I see the wildest stuff. Sometimes I see people doing that and then eating, what is it? It's called like high meat. And the high meat is basically putrid meat that's been sitting in a jar for 3 weeks. And they eat that because they think it's beneficial for their body. I don't know. I don't want to be talking down on that if you guys are into high meat, but or drinking your own golden nectar. But this is not it. So that's my answer, though. I would rather know exactly when I die over how I die, because I don't want to develop a phobia over like how, you know, if I had to choose between the two. Feel free to answer after you see the stream or during the stream. You know, I love hearing what you guys have to say. It's awesome. So that's my answer on that one. We got another coming up. Would you rather be haunted by a really talkative ghost or one that's humming all the time? Probably humming. I'm going to go for humming. I'm not a big fan of talking a lot of the time anyway. I'm usually pretty you wouldn't know it because I'm talking the whole time on here, but I do really enjoy silence and not having to talk with people sometimes. Just that zen zone of solitude. I think it's a powerful thing. I'm one of those types that need to recharge the social maybe we all need to recharge social batteries here and there. But I feel like having a ghost that was constantly talking to me would drain me pretty quickly, because I would not just be able to ignore the ghost talking to me. I feel like I would have to talk back and stuff, But humming, I could probably tune humming out. Or, this question has room. It could be humming in a perfect A note. Wouldn't that be great? A440, I could tune my instruments to the ghost that's constantly humming, or maybe write music around it. So I would pick a humming ghost. That's my answer. But you're down with the talking ghost, Zach? Someone to chill with, talk to it? What if they're talking in a different language, though? All right, this is an interesting little twisted. You guys going to choose between the two? Would you rather have an amazing imagination or an amazing memory? That's, to me, kind of hard, especially as a creative person. I think I would lean towards imagination. But the interesting thing with creativity is creativity often comes from emotions and the memories that are surrounding those emotions. So would you be as inspired if you didn't have the memories? Maybe, because you could imagine them. Probably imagination then. I already have a very poor memory because I did so much damage to it with, all the drug abuse for 20 years on this poor thing. I definitely feel it. I even said earlier in the stream, part of me is starting to wonder if I should eat meat again to try and rebuild my brain with some type of extreme protein, because I'm getting better sleep and I'm 174 days in to giving that stuff up, but I definitely still feel like my brain has been weakened. Zach chooses memory over this one. How's your memory now, Zach? Do you have decent memory, bad memory? What makes you pick memory? I feel like I think I'm going to choose imagination on this one, just because there are ways to kind of, maybe because I've dealt with bad memory for so long, there are ways to kind of stipend that a little bit. Writing things down, videos can help the memory stuff. Imagination, I don't know that there's a ton to push that or something. You got terrible memory? Yeah, I'm with you. It's bad memory. A part of me, when I was younger and had a really hardcore firing brain, late teens, early 20s, that time I was trying to actively mess with my memory and trying to have less of it, because it was always just so hardcore, just constantly, constant in the brain, always rolling, ADHD on fire type of thing. And it's one of the reasons why I started smoking so much, really, was to try and calm it down and to try and live in the moment instead of in all those things. But I did it for way too long, did a little bit of damage. But again, people have said, different medical journals and stuff, and people online in the different Reddit communities that I follow, they're all you need 18 months clean before your brain's actually going to be back on it. So I'm not losing hope yet, but I do choose imagination on that one. But cool. Zach picks memory. All right, so the other night we did 60s music or 90s music. Those were two really broad, different eras to have to choose from. This one, I don't know if it's going to be harder or easier to pick. 70s music versus 80s music. This is a little hard. Kate Bush is one of my favorite artists, and she put out incredible work in the 80s, but I believe her first album came out in 78 or 79, so I think I would still be able to have Kate Bush in my life if I chose 70s. I'm leaning towards 70s in general because there's so many great bands, but so much great Pink Floyd, you know. Let me just see. Yeah, her first album came out in 78, second album in 78 as well, and then Never Forever is on 1980. But some of the times I think that music comes out like on the year would still count because it was all written in 79 and recorded and then like put out in 80. You'd pick 70s too. What band? I know we've talked about Black Sabbath, but what's a band that is influencing you into saying the 70s right now? What one would you have a hard time giving up versus 80s? I definitely feel Pink Floyd for myself. Some of the best stuff they put out. Now, also earlier in the stream, I was saying I love David Gilmour so much. So once Roger Waters left the band, I actually really liked Pink Floyd's stuff afterwards. So I wouldn't get any of that. But there's just so many other ones from the 70s that would be great. And one of the reasons I became a musician and a guitarist was because of that Time Life compilation, The Sounds of the 70s, that came out. Yes, Fleetwood Mac, absolutely. Yo, Tony Kushner, what's up, bro? Tony asks, so what have we learned about remote viewing since we last chatted? Well, honestly, Tony, that's a subject that I go hard in the paint with, man. It's just a level of how much memory I have able to express the things that I know. Sometimes it's late, you know. But I was away in Virginia for 2 days since last we chatted, just going hardcore, just doing music this whole past time. So I haven't gotten to really look too far into anything new exactly. But now that you bring it up, with remote viewing, do you think that you'd be able to remote view any time in the future or past, or remote view into other dimensions that share our space? Nice. You picked up guitar because you knew those vibrations are correct, my friend. I do love that about music, the fact that it's vibrations and that we are vibrations held together with electromagnetism, and then that's a way that we can send vibrations out and actually like touch things and affect things. It's amazing. We're all just different vibes. We're all just vibing at different things, you know. Cool. Yeah, I'm not sure that we can either. I don't know, because it's like, could we really? I feel like things in the past like existed for that time then, and I don't know that I don't know if it exists in a time line like that, you know, like if we're all assembled one decision at a time, that assemblage theory, you know, can we really go backwards on a line and see something from the past ever, really? Or is there only ever really in the present moment, just on side dimensions? Maybe like maybe if there are multiple timelines that are happening at the exact same time, that whole thing, like anything that could happen does happen, just in a different dimension. Like maybe we could cross over into those fields, and maybe that's what life constantly is, you know. But I think it would be hard with past and future type of viewing, you know. The universe is a reflection pool, like the holographic universe theory, like that. I don't know if I've ever gotten my head fully around a holographic universe. I've really tried. While we're talking about some remote viewing in the chat here, Tony, I'm going to pop another question up and ask everybody, Tool or Metallica? What we got, Tool or Metallica? I pick Tool. Even though I'm a huge Metallica fan. Huge. I loves me Metallica. Grew up learning them a lot, and I taught the heck out of Metallica when I was doing my guitar teaching for those 20 years as well. and I'm still a guitar teacher, but when I was working for the other place, and go to page 18. Page 18 of what we saying? Page 18. But Metallica gets you fired up. They really do. I mean, this is hard because I love them both. So it's not. It's like it's one of those life or death decisions of these questions. Sometimes, you know, it's not to say one is better or worse. It's just more of like, you know, if you could only. And yeah, something about Tool. I could just, they're so listenable to me too. Kate and I had like a dance party to Tool a few weeks back. That was a fun one. But our drummer for my band, second link on. Are you sharing links in the chat, Tony? Because I don't get them on here, unfortunately. If you are, bro, if your links don't go through. All right, yo, check this out, man. Do you have Discord? Because if so, I really would love your links, and I can give you my Discord name on here if so. Awesome. It's my Discord name is just my name here on YouTube. It's Richard.of.Carver. Stargate Universe Diagram, CIA.gov. Let me see. Of course, like as I clicked on my Discord, it's doing an update. Come on, bro. Disable that. All right, I'm back onto Discord. Stargate Universe Diagram. I'm typing that in separate. But also, hit me up on Discord, richard.of.carver, just in case I don't find this. But I'm going to start typing it in right now. Let's see. Stargate Universe Diagram. Let me know if this is what you're talking about here. Is this it? Okay, this is it. Okay, how do I start this rabbit hole, bro? Cuz this is going to be fantastic. This is the stuff that Tony, I'm not joking, man. This is the stuff that gets me going. This is the type of that sometimes like nothing interests me more than this, because this is something that some of the most amazing minds worked on. We spent so much money on this as a government. We pushed so hard on this. And you know that this is involved deeply somewhere in our government. And yet all these things are proven, and we are just so busy as a society, we don't jump into this. But this is all amazing. Animal partners, I see. Oh my gosh. Tony says, amen, bro. Yes, cook. It's the truth. It's the truth. And it almost seems part of the plan, right? It's like there's no reason that why do we have 5-day work weeks? You know, there's all of this is just making people more and more busy. And this, once the Industrial Revolution, quote, happened, our poor humans they've been cooked, you know? And we all can do it, right? It's like the superpower of being human. that we have some amazing access to the electricity and an amazing ability to have awareness and consciousness, which is inhabiting an electrically held together body, but awareness and consciousness, if we are able to perfect that and keep it together as a bundle, couldn't we move through other things, you know? You can look it up. It's exactly why you think. Right? Oh my gosh, it's amazing. You want me to, you said go back to Google? What am I checking out on Google now? I'll definitely check in. Look at, I just also, for the heck of it here, I want to read some of this stuff over on the left. So is everything on the left the things that we're going to find within this Stargate, or are these other documents? Because I'm seeing reconnaissance on the aircraft documentation, Animal Partners, Aqualine, 1973, Arab-Israeli War, Bay of Pigs, Berlin Tunnel. So this doesn't all pertain on the left-hand side just to Starlink. These are other things to check out. President Carter and the role of intelligence in the Camp David Accords. President George Bush's farewell visit to the CIA. Oh my gosh. Look at all this fun. Other docs. Stargate is just the remote viewing thing. Yep. Go back to Google and type in assessment of gateway program. You're 100% on the right path. You're missing a few points. This is the electronic reading room. Okay, I'm going to save this place. This is awesome. Okay. All right, we're saved. All right, going back to Google. And what am I typing in here? Let me see. Assessment of gateway program. This is the electronic reading room where the CIA and other organizations have to post the declassified documents through the FOIA, right? Gotta love that. At least we have that kind of, you know, before the big old blacking out large chunks of stuff happens. Assessment of gateway program. Okay. Interesting. Is this the right spot right here? Page 18. Okay. Let's see. Did I numbered? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my gosh, this goes so deep. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 8 on the bottom of that. Oh, 8, 9. Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at this. Our own CIA was putting this together, bro. Oh my gosh. 13, 14, 15. Oh my gosh. 16. Oh my gosh. This is incredible. Thank you for showing me these things, Tony. All right. So should I read a little bit before this exhibit, like up into here, and then read down, you think? Oh my gosh. The cosmic egg. No way. You know what? Before we jump into this real fast, the cosmic egg, have you read Don Juan and Carlos Castaneda and stuff? That's how Don Juan describes this. This is the Native American who describes this in the 60s to Carlos Castaneda and describes their energy bodies as cosmic eggs assembling parts of the universe. So it's wild to see the cosmic egg. That diagram, that one. Okay. Oh, wow, okay. Direction of the time and space evolving. Universal black hole and into the white hole. Nucleus and the hologram. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh my gosh. jet of matter. If you can see the hologram, you can see ahead and behind and present. Whoa. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna read this entire thing. Like, where should I even start? Our place in time. I'm just going to read from 25. The observed distribution of galaxies suggests that our particular universe is located near the top of the egg at the point where matter begins to fall back on itself, thus explaining the reason why the galaxies to the north are seen to be moving away more rapidly as they were caught up in the downturn of the stream of matter towards the far end of the cosmic egg. Layered over this cosmic egg is the absolute, which sustains the radiating nucleus from which the original jet of matter issued forth. As the stream of matter moves around the ovoid towards its destination at the black hole, where it will be reabsorbed into the radiating nucleus and then the absolute, it generates the interference pattern within the cosmic egg, which constitutes the universal hologram or torus. Since the torus is being simultaneously generated by matter in all the various phases of time, it reflects the development of the universe in the past, present, and future as it would be seen from our particular perspective in one phase of time. By reflecting on this model, it becomes possible to see how human consciousness brought to a sufficiently altered focus state could obtain information concerning the past, present, and future, since they all exist in the universal hologram simultaneously. I'm going to read it on to chat real fast, bro. You're saying, think of an ant walking along. Time can be manipulated, and it's constant, so you can basically see time ripples and predict, aka see the future and the past. It's going to get too busy as I keep reading it. Well, that was a good bit as it is. You know, I always think of a major event happening could be like a rock in the center of a really calm lake or something, and when the ripples hit you, you're feeling something big happening in time in the future or something, and you're starting to feel that part, you know. Tony says boom. Let me just finish this one paragraph here, because it does seem like it's got some interesting things to finish with. In the case of the future, because all of the consequences of the past and present can be seen coming together in the hologram, such that the future can be predicted or seen with total accuracy. Moreover, it is possible to see how the implosion of energy patterns would cross and recross to create an incredibly complex four-dimensional hologram or torus in spiral shape in reflection of the multidimensional developing pattern of evolution. All the movements of the energies which comprise the universe leave their mark and hence tell their story throughout time. Oh, this is just fantastic. Look up Joe McGonigal and you brace for the ripples, because you see them coming for sure. Trust your gut. My part of my family name is the McGonigals. That's wild. I have family, that's my blood, is the McGonigals. That's pretty wild. Not my main family line, but cousins. They're McGonigals. So how about that? I am going to have so much fun looking through this. This all feels like the right things. And he's a remote viewing number one. Oh my gosh. From Big Bang to Taurus. Oh, this is just fantastic. I mean, like, this is where it's at, because everything has reasonings in some way, and some types of making sense in some wild, large way. except for the whole consciousness versus matter thing to me. And that whole black hole universe has been feeling really good and correct lately, thinking of us inside of a black hole, this whole universe inside of one, and then other ones existing outside of that black hole, and all of it just kind of keeping on going. And these weird, kind of just like this, kind of just like that image right here. Man. You remember being where I am. Right? Don't you sometimes, like, when you're introducing people to some things, and if, like, oh my gosh, if I could only be there at that one place again, you know? And it's all energy. The consciousness being energy, but even as a kid, it's what always interested me, because what is a thought? Like, is thought really energy? Because where does that go? How is that a thing? You know? It's energy flowing through time. Man, this is fun, Tony. So if you see it at the right angle, you can access it all. Man, Tony, you're the best, dude. Thanks for putting me on to this. I thought that things like this existed, but I didn't know how to get to it at all. If you see or do you create it? Honest question. So if you see it at the right angle, you can access it all, or do you create it? Honest question. Could you rephrase your question, Tony? I'm not sure if it, because it's a couple different messages. I'm not sure. Whoa. Yeah, definitely. Tony says, let me help you understand how to research through this electronic reading room. Yes, please. The gateway method. Yes, your question. Writing a song. Is a song out there and you gotta go find it? I used to think so. When I was kind of writing the most in my life, I used to think that the songs existed, and it, like, when I would get inspired and have an idea, that idea existed, and then it was my energy body of me that was the interpreter of it. And could I not perfectly interpret, but like how much could I not put my self onto it and most accurately express that idea of what I was hearing, and not try and turn it or mess with it, you know? That's definitely how I was believing in writing songs. Tony says, that's my honest question. Sometimes thoughts feel like they're like almost out there, and I found it. Absolutely. That's why I love David Lynch so much, because he deals with this type of stuff, and he always refers to them as like his biography is catching the big fish, you know, like he's always fishing. And his big thing is, like, when you have an idea, like, you have to write it down. Like, ideas are there for you to get them. Like, you don't come up with them, they're there and you hear them, you know. Tony says, like, put yourself in the path of the energy, collected it, and then expressed it. Yeah, like, you're able to be in a certain vibration that is accepting of it. Almost like, you know, when people say they interact with ghosts or something of that sort, like, I still don't know what to think of that 100%. It's because it's like, well, are they ghosts, or are they entities that exist in another light spectrum? Because we only see such a small sliver of light, and we exist in these feelings. But what if an entity exists in a different light spectrum and in a different vibration? Like, their body is made of a truly different vibration, and you have to be our like fear vibration, the way that we get goosebumps and we can even shake, and like those actual, like, that vibe that we have is that the only way that we can access those entities, and that could be for other things, ideas and art, a different type of feeling that we have, that love feeling, does that allow our energy to, accept other things from the universe more, Quick digression. In the 40s, there was this big old thing called World War II. Yeah, we did some bad things with some really big stuff there. And a lot since then. After that, Russia was acting odd, and they basically discovered remote viewing. This was more like Russia had started developing this first, and then we kind of like started going hard after that, being like, what you got going on? And the U.S. came together and said, yo, we need like a centralized agency that holds and passes intelligence to the next prez, and the CIA was formed. They're the ones that really knew what was up. National Security Act of 1947. Wow. Tony, you've been doing good research, man. I like this. Advanced techniques. Having reached focus 10, the participant is now ready to endeavor to achieve a state of sufficiently expanded awareness to begin actually interacting with dimensions beyond those associated with his experience of physical reality. This state is called focus 12 and involves conscious efforts on his part, while additional forms of pink and white noise enter the sound stream being directed into his ears from the gateway tape. Once this participant has achieved the state of greatly expanded awareness, he is ready to begin employing a series of specific techniques or tools that enable him to manipulate his newly found expanded awareness to obtain practical, useful feedback of value for promoting self-discovery and personal growth. That's often what I would feel like from, hardcore trips on, mushies and acid, 1952 law was passed that was like, yo, we can't be waiting around for Congress. We need to be able to act in the name of national security, which lets them do things like MK Ultra, Bay of Pigs, Focus 10, I'm there, you're on Focus 3. Not on Focus 12, keep falling asleep, the gateway tapes, what I told you to listen to last time, they're on Spotify and YouTube. What? So I can put them on when I sleep type of thing? Is that or not sleep, like when you meditate? I'm going to Focus 3 then. Where's Focus 3? Hey, stop it. And you do it every night. Focus 3. Lucid dreaming is like Focus 8. Wow. Oh, I am loving this. I'm going to devour this. Robert Monroe of the Monroe Institute. I love that this was going on and being focused on and researched, and just the way that the zeitgeist moves, and how Carlos Castaneda was talking to Don Juan and getting so much information like this, but from a Native American who had different words for these things, but then to see this in a more scientific way is just so interesting. Hemisync, binaural beats connecting left and right brains, consciousness and subconscious is where we can access the hologram of the cosmic egg and see everything. So that makes sense. It's that in-between state. Hemisync and binaural beats. I used to listen to binaural beats when I was sleeping, but it connects the left and right brains. Conscious and subconscious is where we can access the hologram of the cosmic egg. All the same, all connected. Well, I have work tomorrow, but after work I can try and read some of this before I jump on stream in the evening. I'll have time to read some of this up until at least Focus 3 to be able to talk through some of that. It's like 6 minutes, because the read goes so fast. Or is there something you were saying to look up and watch? Thanks, Tony. I can tell you are too, and especially like just the fact that you're here and a part of the consciousness of what I'm witnessing, and you're there and I'm here for we're a part of this consciousness together is next level, and that we've found each other in this way, you know. It's amazing, and I'm really grateful for you, and so thank you very much. And this really is exciting. Look up Joe McGonigal news interview on YouTube. Absolutely cool. I want to throw that in real fast.
So what do you think reality is then? Human
is this it right here?
You said people think this is the reality. What is it?
Not this one? Okay. That was only 15 seconds. Joe McGonigal news in YouTube, in the YouTube search. Is it this top one here? That one? All right.
People you've never met and who may even be thousands of miles away, and literally see through their eyes so vividly that you can describe precisely what they're looking at. It's called remote viewing, and one of the world's finest exponents who's worked for people at NASA is sitting right over here, Joe McGonigal. thank you for coming this evening, Joe. Is it really possible to see through someone else's eyes or sense through their senses?
Actually, we're not sure exactly how it works, but it is possible to report on the position or place that they're located.
And how accurate is it?
Over a number of times, about 4,000 plus times that I've been tested in a lab under lab conditions, I'm running about 25 to 28% of the time I get to target.
And that's a very good success rate.
Yes, usually when I'm on the target, I'm around 85% correct on the information I provide.
Thank
Tony
you.
says,
Come
"Buckle
back to
up."
you in a moment. A few days ago, we set up an extremely detailed and complex experiment to test Joe's remote viewing capabilities. It was designed by scientists to ensure that he didn't have any inkling of it beforehand. Only one person in Britain knew the details, and to be extra safe, that person was sent miles away before the test began. Four sealed envelopes. Which one will he choose? Number 4. The die says number 4. The envelope contains the secret location for his part in this remote viewing experiment.
Okay.
Okay, interesting.
Meanwhile, Joe McGonigal is on his way to a specially prepared room monitored by security cameras, where he'll be locked away while he attempts to demonstrate his extraordinary ability. He'll never be out of sight of one of our cameras. For the first time for anyone actually involved in the experiment, the site of the remote viewing is now revealed. Joe's used to all the paraphernalia. He's been tested thousands of times by US government agencies under strict laboratory conditions.
Right. Okay. Is everything okay for you? Oh, yes. That's fine.
Okay. So it's a minute to 10:15. We'll be starting in a minute.
Accurate timing is important. The person
Everybody can do
transmitting
this,
must be in
Tone.
precisely the right place when Joe starts his remote viewing.
Person who's out there at the site at the moment.
Just a matter of being there, the right place in your mind to do it, right? Like you said, like smelling or seeing, it's like a sense of ours. Probably the more you do it, the better you get.
Okay. Oh, you never met him before, have you?
No, I've never met him before.
This is the only information that Joe gets. It's something to concentrate on.
Okay. First impression that I'm getting is of what I would call an inside corner. And there's two light colored stripes on either side.
Shaw Taylor is on the north bank of the River Thames, opposite a dockside, a power station and a railway bridge.
What I'm doing is I'm essentially it's almost like tasting food. I'm just kind of reaching out there mentally and tasting things. I'm trying to concentrate on him and perceive what it is he's looking at. It's easy to get distracted and get information on a lot of other things in the area. I want to mix half circles with straight lines. My sense of it is some kind of a raised object, perhaps. It's starting to look a lot like a bridge, but I don't want to call it a bridge.
Okay.
I don't want to call it a bridge yet. Looks a lot like a bridge, but I don't know if this is a walkway or if this is actually a waterway. This could be water as well. I think the essential elements are vertical pillars or supports.
Lake, what's up, bro?
Somehow or another, a going away perspective passes under this.
At this point,
Just watching a quick
it's
thing
quite
on
likely
remote
that he's
viewing.
stopped looking at something after at this moment, so
Yeah,
we'll go with that then.
go with number 4.
He's on his way to the location to see for himself how accurate he's been, and to meet Shaw Taylor for the first time.
That is crazy.
My pleasure to greet Joe. Joe, good to see you.
Well, Richard.
Good to see you. I feel I've been talking to you for the past half hour.
Hopefully you have.
Oh, this is gonna be wild.
The moment of truth.
Water, you've got water certainly. Up here. Now I tell you what is very interesting, because I know the bridge. And I was very much aware of trains passing over it.
Yeah.
So I must confess it is quite possible. I'm not trying to stretch it too
No, I kept getting a great throughway with some kind of the arches or something at the end.
The incredible thing is that he could have described anything in London. A churchyard, a stadium, a park, a railway station, almost anything. But it was water and a bridge, just as Shaw could see it.
Wow. Yeah, like, it's super wild.
So you go and remote view something that somebody's seeing miles away, but I'm told that you can actually remote view something before they've decided where the location is.
Actually, you can. It doesn't matter. Time is immaterial to when you do the remote viewing or when the person's at the location.
So what you're doing is outside of time then?
Outside of time, space, exactly.
Thanks
Wow.
very much, Joe McGonigal.
Just the way he even talks so confidently about it all is amazing. Lake is about to finish up another track, or about to upload another track and finishing the artwork up. Tony, Lake Champagne in chat right now is a wonderful musician, makes great music, and anybody out there listening, I'm excited to listen to it. But yeah, I heard him say that time is immaterial part. That is amazing. Hologram of the cosmic egg. And you were also saying in chat when we were watching, he said, let me find you here. Yup, CIA have tested thousands of people under different circumstances, like dosing people in the 60s via MK Ultra. I used to heavily dose myself, big time, and I've had some really intense experiences there myself. I had one that was so intense that I really do feel like I saw this future. It was so intense. Forgot who I was and everything. I just became like an entity that was just viewing it. I remember I stood up, and my friend Tom was next to me, and I didn't recognize him, but I knew he was okay. I knew that he was somebody I should know. But it was during my college experience, and I was working really hard to make a certain life happen, and I knew that I'd have to go down a different path for a little while before that life could happen. And here we are. And it was intense. And he also said that Joe McGonigal was awarded a Medal of Honor for finding the first Russian nuclear... Oh, that was him. I do know about this. He was also once asked to remote view these coordinates in the year 1 million BC and saw a dying civilization of advanced humans. Wow. Because that's the thing, like that long ago, there wouldn't really be anything left of them, right? Because of the way that the Earth's crust moves and all. And so he saw the bridge, saw the sub. Is he lying about Mars? Because he said the advanced civilization on Mars, right? He said there is or was one. Yo, Tony, that's awesome. Lake, I got you. Followed you on Spotify. Man, Tony, you're awesome, dude. He really is great. Really good music. Intense, but the same as the others all around the world, because we're all connected through energy. Right? Like, are we all part of a brain? Or just in connection with energy, you think, and all have our own minds, you know? Thanks for the shout out, bro. You got it, bro. I wonder about the concept of time. Sometimes I think not a single day has passed before, as a cycle, we're still experiencing the same moment as our ancestors. Like, as if time was just not really a full, like a real thing. It was just like, because the way that we measure time is really, I think, kind of problematic in a way. You know, it kind of makes time seem really weird. Like, is it a thing? Or is it just a way that we measure stuff so that we can be like, quote, productive humans or something, you know? I guess there is space-time, though, right? But isn't it just cells getting new and then old? Like that's, when something goes through time. I like that thought though. Right, only a concept for measuring rather than anything tangible. Yeah, I totally get it. That I feel that way too. Like when I've mentioned on another stream at some point. I'm not sure if you were there for it, but I've definitely mentioned one of my favorite things about kayaking is that when I'm kayaking down a river and I see a giant rotting log, that some tree that has long since fallen over, I think about how it's interesting that tree has just been there. It was like a seed that just was this little tiny sprout hundreds of years ago because it was so large, and it had gotten like gigantic, had been a fallen tree, just a fallen tree for so many years before it even started to rot, and then being that rotting hollow thing. But all that time, the river, it's like that Pink Floyd song. It's this: the sun is the same in a relative way, but you're older. It's like the river just kept flowing. Like, did any time really pass? It's just that cells of that tree being new and then older. Like especially here in America, like Native Americans could have been on that river just a few night times ago. It's just the rotations of our earth. So there is some element of change. As far as like 1,000 years have passed or something, it's hard to say. The whole thing is a mind boggle. I'm going to go hard onto this. Right before you jumped in, bro, we were checking out these FOIA documents. These are all from our actual government, man. This is like true CIA stuff that was released to the public from the Freedom of Information Act. And it's all about energy and consciousness and remote viewing. And I mean, this is like hardcore stuff that went on in terms of research and finding out what consciousness is and can they remote view, and they can. It's something that they really went hard with, and that was one of the biggest remote viewers. We were just watching that video when you popped in, is Joe McGonigal. And I'm just learning about all this, so I'm going to go really hard with this. But Tony, who's in the chat, is really well versed on this. It was kind of like walking me through some of these things. But it's on the CIA's website, cia.gov. And it says, like, way down here what everything really is. Here's the consciousness energy grid. The left hemisphere acts like the mind's computer software to reduce input from the right hemisphere to verbal symbols and concepts, and the right hemisphere consciousness grid reduces three-dimensional holographic image to two-dimensional, go, no go. And then says how we're kind of like, how we're vibrations, absolute and affinity, and then how this is something I'm still trying to get my brain around. Time, space evolving. You got this black hole universal consciousness thing, and everything becomes like a hologram of it, like everything's like a reflection pool. Well, I haven't gone hard enough yet on these, so I'm just going to start reading them tomorrow and diving in as much as I can. These are things that I've like patched together myself through a bunch of different ways and a bunch of different people through the years, a bunch of different great scientific, amazing people, but nothing that has put them all together in one place so much so as these documents have. So this is really interesting. So I'm excited to jump into all of this. What was the experiment that suggested matter only takes form when there is an observer? The double slit or something? Yeah, the double slit experiment. Yep, that boggles the mind too. That's like the Schrodinger's cat experiment. That's the is that the Heisenberg principle too? Is that something along those lines as well? But something can be like a wave or a particle either one, they exist simultaneously at the same time until you observe them being one or the other. And then because you observed it, then that takes root into that path of reality. So like you make reality in how you view it. So it's wild. There's what's her name? Jana Levin. She's an amazing scientist who's been on like Neil deGrasse Tyson's Star Talk. And recently she did an interview with Lex Friedman, a really long, like 4-hour interview, and she was talking about the AB principle or something like that. I think it has to do with this. Let's see. Jan 11 AB principle. It's something to do with the multiverse is what it is. Okay. I'll like fast forward to where it's at because I really wanted to hear about it again. All right, let's see. Where was it? Enemies, dark matter, wormholes. Maybe where this big spike is.
You also wrote the book A Madman Dreams of Turing Machines. It connects two geniuses of the 20th century, Alan Turing and Gödel. What specific threads connect these two minds?
Yeah, I was really mesmerized by these two characters. People know of Alan Turing for having...
I'm just going to read your chat real fast. Reminds me of the Dhammapada. How it says everything is formed and begins within our thoughts and then into our experience reality. I mean, it's got to be the real thing, you know, and then that, it feels so right, and it feels like the actual thing that does happen. And why it seems it's so hard when we have so many distractions in our society right now, it really robs us of focus to make those inner workings really occur in real life, you know?
Ideated about the computer, being the person to really imagine that. But his work began with thinking about Gödel's work. That's where it began, and it began with this phenomenon of undecidable propositions or unprovable propositions. So there was something huge that happened in mathematics. People imagined that any problem in math could technically be proven to be true.
Yeah, here it is.
Human beings are gonna
multiverse.
every fact about everything in mathematics, but it should be provable, right? I mean, it seemed kind of not that wild supposition, and everyone believed this. All the great mathematicians, Hilbert was a call of his to prove that. And Gödel, very strange character, very unusual. He was a Platonist. He literally believed that mathematical objects had a existential reality. He wasn't so sure about this reality he struggled with. He was distrustful of physical reality, but he absolutely took very seriously Platonic reality, and often his own way of thinking, and he proved that there were facts, even among the numbers, that could never be proven to be true. To think about that, how wild that is, that even a fact about numbers seems very simple, could be true and unprovable, could never exist as a theorem, for instance, in mathematics, unreachable. This incompleteness result was very disturbing. Essentially, it's equivalent to saying there's no theory of everything for mathematics. It was very disturbing to people, but it was very profound. And Alan Turing got involved in this because he was thinking about uncomputable numbers. So, and that led him, what's an uncomputable number? A number like 0.175, it just goes on for...
No, I think I'm in the wrong place. I'm
Look,
trying to
you're
find
not
something on
actually
the
gonna get
AB
anything to-
principle. I think it was before that.
The origami that we're talking about, that you could travel in a straight line through the universe, leave our galaxy behind, watch the Virgo cluster drift behind us, and travel in a straight line as possible, and find ourselves coming back again to the Virgo cluster, and eventually the Milky Way, and eventually the Earth, that we could find ourselves on a connected, compact space-time. And so, topologically, there's something we know for sure, something beyond Einstein's theory that has to explain that to us. Now, wormholes are a little funky because they're topological. You know, they create these handles and holes in these sneaky, by topological, I mean these connected spaces. And
Yeah, it's like Swiss cheese or
like
something.
Swiss cheese, and so I could have, I could have two like flat sheets that are connected by a wormhole, but then wrap around on the largest scale, all this cool stuff. There's nothing wrong with it as far as I can see. There's nothing abusive towards the laws about a wormhole, but we can reverse engineer. We were saying, oh look, if I know how matter and energy are distributed, I can predict how space-time is curved. I can revert what my wormhole to look like first. So it's like saying I want to build a building first. Pressure, I can tell you certain features about it, and I just call it dark energy, but I actually have no idea. It's just, that name's just a proxy for what this, it should be called invisible because it's not actually dark. It's
Pretty
in this
wild that
room.
we
It's
have
not
it.
hard to see through. It's not dark. It's literally
Is
invisible.
it consciousness?
So maybe that was a misnomer. But the point being, I still don't fundamentally know what it is.
Could be
That's not so
consciousness.
terrible. That's the state of the world that we're actually in. So maybe warp drive is just kind of like a version of that. I don't know what form of matter can do that yet, but at least I can identify the features that are needed.
So figuring out what dark energy is might land some clues.
Yeah, it might. It is positive energy and a negative pressure, which is kind of like a rubber band sort of quality. We think pressure is pushing things outward, and dark energy has a very strange sort of quality that as things move outward, you feel more energy as opposed to less energy. The energy doesn't get lower, it gets more. And but it doesn't have the right features for the wormhole, but those are some pretty surprising features. We again can conjecture like, oh hey, the quantum energy of the vacuum kind of behaves that way. That would be a great resolution to the dark energy problem. It's just the energy of empty space, and it's the quantum energy of empty space. That's an excellent answer. The problem is by all our methods and all the understanding we have, that energy's either really, really huge, way bigger than what we see today, or it's like zero. So that's a numbers problem. We can't naturally fine-tune the energy of empty space to give us this really weird value so that we just happen to be seeing it today. But again, we can think of a kind of dark energy that exists. So the question is just why is it such a weird value? Not how is this conceivable, because we can't conceive of it.
Yeah, but if it's a weird value, that means there is a phenomenon.
I'll keep on skipping because I'm trying to
That
find the AB
mass
thing.
is distributed differently than the interacting luminous matter.
So dark energy is harder to get a hold of.
Dark energy is much harder to get a hold of. But, I mean, the Higgs field could have also explained dark energy.
Yeah.
If you've heard of the God particle. I don't know if you know originally Leon Letterman co-authored a book and he wanted to call it the goddamn particle because they couldn't find it. And his publisher convinced him to call it the God particle. And he said,
Blake asks, is consciousness just a function of the brain? Do our minds create the consciousness we experience? Is it just the receptor or conduit for different levels of consciousness that exists outside of living things, animal, plants, etc.? Right, like, do you feel like you can feel conscious things? Like I was, even in the beginning of the stream, I was kind of talking about that. I saw some ants earlier, and it's like, it kind of just feels like they have a certain consciousness to them, Like how when you have a pet around, you just know that they are a conscious thing. I don't have any pets right now, so it feels more zen. But I know that when I'm around my that I had animals, it always felt like you were on, like you could feel the consciousness of them. So what in the world, how does consciousness, how is that a thing? You know, if everything, like this microphone right here, it's just atoms still held together with electromagnetism. There's even electricity going to it, just like me. But I have consciousness inhabiting those atoms that are held together with electromagnetism and electricity. So can my consciousness move into this air right here? Because this is still something. This is O2. It's not like there's nothing here. And can you move that consciousness around with, like, is awareness something that you can throw? Can you put your awareness into other places? Is that how you can traverse the stars? Is that what this dark energy or dark matter is in our universe that we can't see because it's invisible? I think we're getting close to this AB stuff. It was really hard to explain.
Monday CRM.
Hey, well, I don't want to know these things. I don't have ad blocker on Safari.
You can comment on something that I've heard recently. There's some people who say, people outside of physics say that, you know, dark matter and dark energy is just something physicists made up.
Yeah.
To put a label on the fact that they don't understand.
And so we can't see them. Right now they're raining through us. If we could see.
Oh, this is a cool part,
yeah.
yeah.
Up until, you know, recently, they were still disputed.
I think we're still at such early stages where we're not really even at a good explanation, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've mentioned a few.
Well, I can think of examples of dark matter that exist. And they were...
Where is it? I want that neutrino thing up on here. There we go.
And they were up until, you know, recently. They were still disputed.
I think we're still at such early stages where we're not really even at a good explanation, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've mentioned a few.
Well, I can think of examples of dark matter that exist that we really know for sure are real versions of dark matter, like neutrinos. Right now they're radiating through us. That's...
Alright, neutrinos are elementary particles with no electric charge and extremely small mass. They interact only via the weak nuclear force and gravity, making them exceptionally difficult to detect. Neutrinos do not participate in electromagnetic or strong nuclear reactions. So as a result, neutrinos pass through ordinary matter almost entirely unseen, maybe? So we are ordinary matter. Neutrinos is just some word. So there is some type of something passing through me. You know, can consciousness be in that? Can we go on to that? You know, it's just a weird thing that exists, that is a real thing. And neutrinos are a type of dark matter or dark energy, was she saying? One of the two. But either way, that's a real thing that has been measured. So, like, dark energy does exist.
Well confirmed. And they're technically dark.
Unimpeded.
They don't interact with light. And so we can't see them. Right now they're raining through us. If we could see the dark matter in this room, we absolutely know is coming from the sun, it would be wild. It'd be a rainstorm, you know?
Wow.
But they're just invisible to us. Mostly they pass through our bodies. Mostly they pass through the earth. Occasionally they get caught in some fancy detector experiment that somebody built specifically to catch solar neutrinos. So dark matter is known to exist. It's just, again, there's not enough of it. It's not the right mass to be the dark matter that makes up this missing component.
I wanted to say that I've been recently fascinated by the flat earth people because there's been a split in the community.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the most incredible things, I have to talk to you about this, one of the most incredible things that humans have ever accomplished is LIGO. We have to talk about gravitational waves. And the very fact that we're able to detect gravitational waves from the early universe is effing wild.
It's crazy.
All right, we're going to pause it on that one because that is like what is that? That's a 3-hour interview in itself, and I'm not finding that part in there about the AB principle stuff. I will have enough time to find it at some point, but I more want to read through all of this as well, figure out what in the world this is that our CIA has went down the wormhole hardcore with this. I can't wait to read it all. But it is 3 a.m. and I have work tomorrow, which is like part of it, right, guys? It's a way to keep us from figuring all this stuff out. It's keeping us so busy we can't. Maybe we're all believing ourselves into that, you know. But I am looking forward. Actually, you know what? I think I have one more question for the night. I'm really interested too. Like, I will definitely share tomorrow when I find some stuff. I'm super excited about it. Have you ever read Carlos Castaneda or Don Juan? Because this is what some of the stuff that I just love so much is when one source proves the other in completely separate worlds. And one of my favorite things in the world was reading all of Carlos Castaneda's books, which was the knowledge from Don Juan, a Yaqui Native American, well, really from Mexico area, the Yaquis. And he was like a shaman medicine man that he was one of the last of his people, and he knew that he had to find somebody to give this knowledge to, and he ended up giving it to this writer so that the writer could write it down and give it to everybody so that the knowledge wouldn't go away. And he had all of these ways of explaining consciousness and things, but it was more from, the way that it was 10,000-year-old plus knowledge and ways that they described it. And then you see it coming out in the talks of science and consciousness groups these days, saying things he was saying. Some of this wildest stuff, like I think the first book came out in 1964 or 3, and he was saying how the Toltec, they were here, I think it was like 20,000 or 30, somewhere around 20,000 years ago, and at that point they were still only saying the Toltecs were in South America for a few thousand years, so it was like a big discrepancy. And then it turns out, they were there 20,000 years ago, and that wasn't discovered until like the 90s or so, or the 2000s. And so just like little things like that, when they can kind of prove each other, I think is so fun. So I'm excited to really dive into this and see the types of blending that those two worlds have with things that Don Juan's saying and the things that the Stargate CIA stuff are talking about. And before I go, we got to have one last question, because I know I had one on here. Nice and easy question. I'm picking Dollar General. But ended on a calm note, because at some point we got to find sleep. And Lake Champagne, I am so excited to hear the new track. I'll check it out tomorrow, I'm hoping, once it's posted up. And on that note, everybody, please take care of yourselves. It's the most important thing. Be healthy, take care of yourselves. You're worth it. And I'm so grateful that you're here tonight. So let's find some sleep. Let's go and dream world. Let's do it. Peace and love, everybody. I hope to see you tomorrow night. Thanks for being here. Take care, everybody.